Guy, you're all tangled up on me. Come on, guy. You gonna sit in the shade? Fenris, you gonna go take a poop? I'm gonna have to go get that. Okay. Trying to scoot into the shade a little bit. There she goes, trying to rub her leash off. Like it comes off like a tattoo. So obviously I'm back at the little grassy area. It was cold this morning and I wore a jacket and now it's hot. It's crazy how the temperature will shift throughout the day. It's funny too because it's like today's supposed to be 89. We had, we were in the 90s over the last few days, and theoretically it's supposed to go down to like 85 and then be in the low 80s, mid 70s for the next 2 weeks. Meanwhile, California is like the Central Valley is going up to 115 degrees. And yes, California is more experienced with dealing with hot weather, but there's still a lot of houses that don't have AC. I mean, when we lived in California, when we bought our first house in Escondido, we didn't have AC. We actually spent $40,000 getting HVAC installed. And it was this whole scam with Hero where they were like, oh, they'll just add it to the price of the house when you sell it. But then it turned out all the realtors insisted it had to be paid off first. So we sold the house for $420 and we lost about $40,000 when we sold it. That's how insane prices are. And that was, 6 years ago. So it's only gotten worse. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully this is the end of the heat wave, but I'm not holding my breath because every year is hotter. And yes, here I am once again talking about the weather. Kind of hard to ignore it, Pakistan, thousands of people are dying because they're getting flooded. And, I talked about it in a previous video, but when a desert gets flooded or gets a lot of rain, it floods because the water, the ground doesn't soak up the water. It just pools. And another concern I was reading about that I didn't even think about is when the water is starting to dry, but you get puddles everywhere, it breeds mosquitoes. And mosquitoes have malaria and like all these other diseases. And, when all these people have lost their homes and they have a government that's not doing enough to save them, malaria is deadly. We get, they don't all get vaccines against malaria and stuff like that like we do. And they don't have the resources to treat it as much as they need. The Pakistani government has been begging Western states to, pay for the reconstruction of the houses and, medical resources and stuff because we're the emitters of the greenhouse gases and carbon that are causing Pakistan and stuff like that to have the worst effects. But we're America. We love to push our problems onto other people within our own country and especially elsewhere in the world. Gaia, stay over here. I don't even know where she went. Whatever. She can't go far. She's got the... there she is. Yeah. Anyway, so as I was walking over here, I was listening to the Offline podcast. The dogs are panting very loudly. Which is by Jon Favreau, who is part of Crooked Media, Pod Save America and stuff like that. And I really like the Offline series. Every episode... Okay, dogs, you were panting so loud. Go over here. Lay down. Lay down. Do you guys have to be directly behind me? Guys, lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Gaia. Lay down. Okay. Of course they want to be with me. I know, you see another dog. That doesn't mean run over and say hi. Okay. So anyway, I really like listening to the Offline series because every episode he interviews a different person who has some relation to the internet. Like there was one guy that was an ex-employee for Twitter and he interviewed, holy shit, dogs, you're so loud. You're so loud. Interviewed Hank Green. John Green's the one that writes the books. Hank Green's the one that does the like hilarious little science TikToks where it's like you learn something but at the same time it's in like a funny way, so it's a lot more entertaining than watching something dry or whatever. But this episode, the most recent episode, he actually is interviewing one of my online, you know, idols, ContraPoints, who for some reason there's some people on the internet that hate her, which I kind of, you know, I kind of agree. The reason left is so ineffective is that we turn against our own over the slightest, you know, not towing the line, and we're just hurting ourselves when we're like doing all this infighting and everything like that. Now obviously, you know, some positions can't be forgiven, and this topic comes up a lot in my videos, but you know, we're only hurting ourselves by being like, if you're slightly, you know, out of exactly what I think, I'm not gonna ever, you know, I'm gonna excoriate you online and cancel you and tell everyone that you're the worst of the worst and send you death threats and everything. And it's just like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. What is your goal? Is your goal to be right, or is it to be effective? Because I don't know if you noticed, but we're getting real deep in fascism, and the fascists win when we can't get our shit together. You know, a country divided cannot stand. And not that I'm saying go hug a Trumper. It's funny, Biden did his speech yesterday, and I only seen pieces of it. I don't have the time or bandwidth to sit and listen to entire speeches, so I listened to like highlights. But and so of course all the right-wingers are like going crazy, like, he called me a fascist, I was gonna vote for him, but then he called me a fascist. And he very specifically said in the speech that he's talking about the MAGA Republicans, the like crazy right-wingers who, you know, have hated him this whole time anyway. And so it's the not all men fallacy, where it's like, you know, well, I'm not a crazy fascist. It's like, cool, then he wasn't talking about you. If you hear, you know, far right, racist, whatever, and you're like, he's talking about me, then that says more about you than, yeah. Anyway, they also try to get like pedo Hitler trending, which is definitely a Russian thing, because it's like, wait, what? Where did that come from? But of course, you know, it starts out as an intentional disinformation, and then you got all these fucking idiot maggots who are like, yeah, pedo Hitler. Fucking, what a nonsense. Ugh. Stupid. It's all stupid. But yeah, so I was listening to him interview ContraPoints, and it kind of excites me, just thinking about, you know, now that the kids are in school, I can start doing, I don't even know if you can hear me over the dogs. Look at that tongue. Look how long that tongue is. Your tongue is longer than your face. Anyway, yeah, like thinking about more intense videos like that, with a lot more like planning and costumes and stuff. I haven't made as much progress with my projects as I've been hoping. I mean, the kids have been in school for 4 days. This is the 4th day, and Wednesday's early days, so, you know, 3.5 hours. And I feel like kind of pressured to like, why are you running into me, dog? To do as much as I can in the days that I can. I'm still kind of like dragging my feet. Like, I'm always like, well, it's hot, or, you know, I'm tired, or whatever. And I'm always going to have excuses to not. The dogs are trying to play. Oh my gosh, dogs. You know, if I try, I will always find excuses to not work. Now they're trying to play. Gaia is always trying to start a fight. Not a fight, but, you know, a play fight. As much as she pisses me off. Look at her. You're such a punk. You're such a punk, Gaia. Yeah, they like to play fight in the middle of the living room, and Fenris starts snarling like crazy. He sounds terrifying, but he never hurts her. He never hurts her. She just, you know, she's always the one picking the fight. But anyway, right, what was I gonna say? I like the tail. It's like, it's so funny comparing dog tail behavior with cat tail behavior. Like, that's one of the things when I was Let's Playing Stray, which I need to finish, I was like critiquing it all, like, that's not how cat bodies work. But no, they did a pretty good job. Right, what was I talking about? Yeah, anyway, I just, you know, I do want to get more ambitious with my videos. I'm going to start that live stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, behind the scenes. subscriber only, so I can try to get some money to actually pay for video hosting and stuff like that. I still want to also launch my own either Mastodon or Friendica server. I don't quite understand the difference. There's like slight differences between them, but they're basically like, I think of it more as like a programming language. They're instances. It's confusing to me, but basically taking the design of these other Mastodon servers and being able to control it totally myself. And the idea I came up with a while ago, the name for it is Outcast Creator Collective, and it's for people like me. It's for, you know, sex workers who keep getting banned off platforms and everything. I'm really debating. So one of the things that I really like about Mastodon, and I think you can do it with Friendica too, is you can censor, you can put a spoiler tag on any post you want, and you don't have to do your entire account. Like Twitter, you either lock your entire account or everything's publicly available, although they have this Twitter circles thing now. It's basically like friends only posts that I'm experimenting with. It's still kind of buggy, but you know, that only came out pretty recently, and like I said, it's still kind of buggy, but get off of me, dog. She loves to, like, she does this really weird thing where she'll come over and she'll just like put her back foot on you. Like she'll literally come over and just sit with only her back on your leg or whatever. And she does it to Fenris. Fenris will be laying down and she comes over and just puts her back leg on his head. Animals are weird. Anyway, so yeah, so you can like decide which posts you want to censor. And I'm going back and forth as far as actual sexual content. I would prefer not to have direct sexual content on the site. Maybe photos, I don't know, but they would have to be under a censored tag, you know. But and joining this thing or whatever would be approval only. You have to like submit other places that we can find your content and everything, because I don't want fucking porn bots. I don't want idiots that just retweet other people's porn, you know. But I do want it to be open to actual sex workers who, you know, have been censored the same that I have, even though my stuff's not porn. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I allow porn as long as it's clearly marked and it can only be your own porn that you created? You can't share other people's porn? I don't know. And again, censored. And like, you know, it's who you follow also. Like if you don't want to see a porn account, you can always just like mute that account so that they don't show up on your stuff. I don't know. But again, you know, to do a server like that, I need to have money to pay for the server, and that's why I'm experimenting with this subscriber only thing, even though yes, it's putting a price tag on my body, except that the actual like finished videos are still going to be free and everything as long as Trom's around. So I don't know. I go back and forth. I get frustrated because it's like you got all these retired, older, cis white male nudists who are like, you know, how dare you put any money on it? It's like, you're retired. You're not a content creator. You don't have like big expenses, like paying for hosts, you know, hosting and stuff like that. Like, and you're not, you know, donating or supporting me at all. Like, like, you know, I can't use YouTube and free websites. So anyway, I know you guys are tired of hearing me complain about it, but it's just, how am I supposed to get around it? Anyway, yeah, so I'm hopeful about doing better quality stuff. I'm hopeful that the behind the scenes streams will encourage me to actually finish my projects that I start. I still have like 5 or 6 interviews already shot that I haven't finished editing. I'm also anxiously waiting for my web developer friend to find and install a new WordPress theme, so that my website doesn't look as bad. Can you stop whining? God, she whines the whole walk. She just whines and whines and whines. Yeah, get the thing fixed so that my website doesn't look as bad, and then I won't feel as nervous about contacting bigger channels and doing interviews with them. I don't know. I'm telling myself this is going to be the year that I get serious. You know, I probably still will never get famous, especially as long as I'm aggressively banning porn bots. But if nothing else, I can, you know, establish legitimacy, at least in my own mind, especially as I interview bigger channels with their own following. And I'll stay open to doing interviews with just like regular community members too. I'm not gonna like become a snob and be like, oh, I only have time for famous people, you know, fuck that, fuck those people. It's more just, well, there's a lot of interesting people out there that I would love to interview, like ContraPoints, super famous, don't know if that'll ever happen, or PhilosophyTube, who already, when I talked to her at VidCon, was like, yeah, sure, I'll do an interview with you, and maybe Cat Black, and, you know, some of these other bigger left-wing YouTubers, maybe TikTokers, I hate TikTok. I don't know if I mentioned it in my last vlog, but the situation with TikTok is that they told me to have access to my old Twitter, Topless Topics account that I made back when I could use Instagram to log in. I would have to delete my Topless Topics TV account that I made, since I couldn't get into the Topless Topics. And at this point I have more videos, and not that I have a lot, but what views I have are on Topless Topics TV. So I was like, just delete Topless Topics, you know, it's better for me to use Topless Topics TV. And I thought they would be like, okay, but, you know, we'll do that. But they were just like, okay, we did it. I was like, ah, because I don't think I don't know. I don't know if you can download other people's videos on TikTok, but I only had a few on there. So, but yeah, I don't know. That's another thing that I'm going to try to get around to doing, is like my whole reacting to my old videos thing on TikTok. But I'm really dragging my feet because I don't want to. And plus, even if I react to my Handmaid's Tale censored versions, TikTok is just like YouTube and everything else, where they can just, you know, haters can just false flag it and down it goes, as evinced by videos that like were just like, I got called a bleep bleep by a Trumper, get taken down for hate speech even though I'm quoting them. Or, you know, I'll have fully clothed videos taken down as sex and nudity because that's all it takes. Ugh, so frustrating. Okay, anyway. I was going to talk about how it feels when people that I met when they were just starting out end up super famous and like pop up in other things that I happen to fall into. The biggest example is Akilah Hughes, who I met randomly on a hotel floor at Playlist Live like 10 years ago. We were sharing a socket to charge our phones, and she was just Smoothie Freak at that point, and like she was nice. I don't know, we didn't stay in contact, and then she ended up working for Crooked Media, and she was like the What a Day podcast host for a while and everything like that. And it was just so weird because I became a fan of Pod Save America completely separate from any of that, and she turned kind of fierce. I mean, she was probably already fierce. Oh yeah, we did hang out a little bit at one Comic-Con. Like I went to a Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, right before we moved up here, and I was like, I had a panic attack and I was really lonely and everything because I didn't have any, you know, I don't know. I wasn't, I hadn't started forcing myself to be more outgoing. Gaia, stay over here, Gaia! And then I like saw her in a restaurant and she offered to pay for a meal for me, but I was like, no, that's okay. And then like I ended up, there was some guy that was like a rapper or something, and he was like, oh, you want to come hang out in my hotel room? And like I guess she knew him or something, so we went there, and then they had chocolate that had like, you know, edible chocolate or whatever, and I had never done one before, and I was like, okay, I'll take like a little tiny bite, and I didn't feel anything. It was like I took like a little tiny bite. Anyway, it was just funny. And then that's the last I heard of her. And then, like I said, she, you know, I got interested in this other thing. She happened to be the host or whatever. And on Twitter, she makes these like very, you know, acerbic observations and jokes and everything like that. And, you know, obviously she's very left wing, and so most of them I think is funny. But she said something about like Cats being a bad movie, and I was like, well, I kind of liked it. And she said something like, well, then you have shitty taste in movies or something. And I was really butthurt about that. I was like, okay, we're allowed to like different things. Anyway, I don't know. Now she's famous. Now she won't, you know, I daren't approach her. But yeah, I don't know. Just listening to ContraPoints show up on the offline podcast was again an intersection. But you know, like as you get famous online, obviously your circles are gonna intersect more, especially since that's like the business of being famous online is networking, is doing content with other famous people and growing each other's audiences and stuff, which is why I want to interview famous people so I can steal all their just kidding. I mean, it's great if, you know, they check out my content because of the interview and then are like, I like this person, I'm gonna follow them too. Like, you know, that'd be nice, but I would never want someone to follow me just because I have one interview with someone that they like. Because I just want legitimate supporters to follow my content. I don't want porn bots, obviously, that's why I keep blocking them. All right, it's hot, the dogs are hot. I'm gonna head home and try to get something I actually need to get done. Yesterday I got distracted blocking porn bots like always, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna film myself blocking porn bots and give people a little taste of what it's like. And I took like an hour of footage and I edited it down to 30 minutes, and you know, that's still a long video, but I put the uncensored version on Trom, so if you want to see porn you can go on that one, but it's just me like being like, who's this person? Oh, porn banned. Who's this person? Oh, porn ban. Who's this person? Oh, they call themselves a nudist, but all their likes are just naked women. Ban. And like explaining my reasoning as I go. So I put the uncensored version on Trom, and then I put the version where I just super blurred my entire screen except for me fully clothed up in the corner. And like, you can't even tell what's going on. It's like vaguely Caucasian flesh colored. So maybe that's going to be all it takes for YouTube to ban me. I mean, that's how they... Yay, snot. They banned other videos of mine. It was like, oh, you've got vaguely flesh-toned giant boxes on your screen. This is clearly porn. But again, it doesn't matter what's in the video. It just matters how many haters report it. Yeah, so if you want to see that, you can, well, check my Twitter, because I don't have a page for it yet. And even if I did, I couldn't link to it in the description here, because YouTube would ban it as linking to porn. Fucking lovely. Anyway. Oh, you found a stick to chew up? I'm numb. Better a stick than a book. She's chewing up multiple children's books because she will just straight up take them off a shelf and eat them. Stupid fucking dog. Yeah, so you can go watch that video if you want. And to finish the story about the WordPress theme, I'm basically like anxiously waiting for my friend to do that because it's her skill set and I pay her for her time, but you know, she has other projects going on that pay better, so you know, professionally wise, I can understand why she can't prioritize my stuff, but I'm hoping to get that set up. I told her, you know, it'd be great to have it set up before the end of September, and she's like, yeah, sure. So that's the goal. End of September, have my new website set up, have all the videos I already shot edited and put up, or at least most of them. You know, I'll have been doing the behind the scenes live stream for 3 weeks, see how that works. And maybe closer to the end of the year, start approaching the other people. You know, I assume the holidays will be pretty busy with them. Although, you know, it's different for content creators, especially since a lot of them will do Halloween or, you know, holiday themed videos or whatever. Start approaching those people. Just fight against my imposter syndrome, you know? Try to find ways to not have as many porn bots to deal with, like the Twitter circles thing and everything, and just focus on making content and not caring so much about whether porn bots follow me or not, and whether I, you know, do numbers or not. Just put the content out there. Don't give a shit if it gets popular or not. It's hard. It's hard when your whole business is literally online content, trying to, you know, make people aware of your content. Since I do think some of my content, maybe not these vlogs, but some of my content has merit and is worth watching, and it's just people don't know about it because it gets banned by haters false flagging it, or it gets shadow banned so it never shows up in search results and stuff like that. So as always, if you would like to help me, if you'd like to help out Topless Topics, please like and share and subscribe, and literally specifically share with people you know who you think might be receptive, because if you just do a public post, it's going to get hidden from search results, and you know, people are not going to find it. But you know, if someone's talking about, I don't know, period shaming, you could be like, hey, you might be interested in this video that Topless Topics did about period shaming, and then you link to the period shaming video or whatever. You can go to the website toplesstopics.org and you can search for a topic, and if I have done something on it, it should pop up. And you can suggest topics too. Just please no more fucking nudism ones. I'm so fucking tired of talking about nudism. I have so many nudist followers, and all they ever want to talk about is being naked in public and nudism, and it's so boring. All right, to work I go.